The dancer's body is simply the luminous manifestation of the soul. At the summer solstice, all is green and growing, potential coming into being, the miracle of manifestation painted large on the canvas of awareness. At the winter solstice, the wind is cold, trees are bare and all lies in stillness beneath blankets of snow. The universe is the periodical manifestation of this unknown absolute essence. Once you learn to look at architecture not merely as an art more or less well or more or less badly done, but as a social manifestation, the critical eye becomes clairvoyant. Human rights will be a powerful force for the transformation of reality when they are not simply understood as externally defined norms of behavior but are lived as the spontaneous manifestation of internalized values. Facebook is so ubiquitous now that it's like another manifestation of the web itself. Prohibiting a visible religious sign, which isn't a manifestation of militancy, would look like a fight against religions. What is the constitution of the universe? The universe is the manifestation of the divine thought. The thought of God embodies itself in the thought forms that we call worlds. All the great works of art, the cathedrals, the Gothic cathedrals and the splendid Baroque churches, are a luminous sign of God, and thus are truly a manifestation, an epiphany of God. When love is pure, it has the power to conquer. Lover and beloved conquer each other by their affection. The source, the essence, the fullest manifestation of love's conquering power is the love of the soul for the Supreme Soul, or God. Over the years, I've come to realize that sometimes a ghost isn't always a ghost. Sometimes, telling a ghost story is a way to talk about something else present in the air, taking up space beside you. It can also be a manifestation of intuition, or something you've known in your bones but haven't yet been able to accept. The 16th century theatre witnessed the particularly English manifestation of the history play. There can be no doubt that Shakespeare's presentations of Henry V and Richard III have been incalculably more influential than any more sober historical study. Islamic fundamentalism in its activist manifestation is bad news. Religious fundamentalism in general is bad news. We know about religious fundamentalism in South Africa. Calvinist fundamentalism has been an unmitigated force of benightedness in our history. What to an outsider will be no more than the vigorous presentation of a conviction, to an employee may be the manifestation of a determination which it is not safe to thwart. What we're about is a manifestation of the Catholic roots of Boston College. In some instances, a gender imbalance is indeed a manifestation of sexism. In others, it is not. Beauty is no dead thing, it is the manifestation of God in nature. There is not one object in nature untouched by man that is not beautiful, for God's manifestation is beauty. It shines through all his works, and not only in those that may give pleasure to man. Events in America show the extent to which democracy there is fueled by populism. Barack Obama's victory is a manifestation not of Washington's need for change, but of America's. That is not how democracy works in England. The Tea Party is but one manifestation of a widening perception that the game is rigged in favor of the rich and powerful. The commencement speech is not, I think, a wholly satisfactory manifestation of our culture. Anger is a manifestation of a deeper issue, and that, for me, is based on insecurity, self-esteem and loneliness. When developing an idea, I remind myself not to start with compromise. I envision the ideal manifestation of the idea, as if I had no limits in resources, materials, or permission. Beauty is a precious trace that eternity causes to appear to us and that it takes away from us. A manifestation of eternity, and a sign of death as well. Your duty is to treat everybody with love as a manifestation of the Lord. Narcissist, psychoanalytic term for the person who loves himself more than his analyst. Considered to be the manifestation of a dire mental disease whose successful treatment depends on the patient learning to love the analyst more and himself less. Your primary presumption that the bridge was proffered as an epic has no substantial foundation. You know quite well that I doubt that our present stage of cultural development is so ordered yet as to provide the means or method for such an organic manifestation as that. Manifestation, law of attraction, and all of that other related stuff, I'm here for it. Beauty is a manifestation of secret natural laws, which otherwise would have been hidden from us forever. The word is a force you cannot see, but you can see the manifestation of that force, the expression of the word, which is your own life. When science, art, literature, and philosophy are simply the manifestation of personality. They are on a level where glorious and dazzling achievements are possible, which can make a man's name live for thousands of years. I'm saying that people who are enmeshed in situations of subjugation and have to find ways to project their dignity as human beings, in spite of all the efforts of those around them to degrade them. I'm saying that this music is the manifestation of the dignity in the life that has always been present. In its truest manifestation, where it gives judgments, poetry is super luxury. It would be interesting to see what would happen to a high court judge if he were forced to follow the true poetic formula, doing the job for love, being forced into pubs for relief. I cannot be alone in being pretty nauseated by Red Nose Day, or at least its television manifestation. Do I think that wretchedly poor children in Africa should get food and life-saving drugs? Of course. Do I want to be hectored into contributing by celebrities who earn more in a 10-minute slot than many of these families get in a year? Nope. Sometimes, if you are nervous, it could actually turn out to be a manifestation of your exhaustion. The point is that any setback is bad, but if you see it from a perspective, you'll recover. Today, in American imperialism, the commodity has reached its most grandiose historical manifestation. The spirit or life spark which animates this manifestation could be called God. The highest manifestation of life consists in this, that a being governs its own actions. A thing which is always subject to the direction of another is somewhat of a dead thing. We humans are an extremely important manifestation of the replication bomb, because it is through us, through our brains, our symbolic culture and our technology, that the explosion may proceed to the next stage and reverberate through deep space. Man striving for order, of which art is but one manifestation, derives from a similar universal tendency throughout the organic world. It is also paralleled by, and perhaps derived from, the striving towards the state of simplest structure in physical systems. In my own life, I think legends of supernatural, mythic things are really just a manifestation of the collective unconscious, so I don't really get freaked out. I mean, certainly, you read about things people did to each other in the pursuit of some mystical or occult goal, and it's horrifying, but that's just human nature. GIS, in its digital manifestation of geography, goes beyond just the science. It provides us a framework and a process for applying geography. It brings together observational science and measurement and integrates it with modeling and prediction, analysis, and interpretation so that we can understand things. All life is a manifestation of the Spirit, the manifestation of love. Nature is my manifestation of God. I go to nature every day for inspiration in the day's work. I follow in building the principles which nature has used in its domain. In consequence of our limited ideas of the sufferings of Christ, we place a low estimate upon the great work of the atonement. The glorious plan of man's salvation was brought about through the infinite love of God the Father. In this divine plan is seen the most marvelous manifestation of the love of God to the fallen race. I am completely of the school that mind is entirely the manifestation of brain. So when there's a change in mind, there's got to be a neurobiological underpinning. The images attempt to capture scientific thought. They represent the physical manifestation of the thought process. Everything in the laboratory is a product of a stream of conscious or unconscious thought. I'm not trying to say that it never hurt or that I never felt its sting, but I can honestly say that I never blamed anybody for racism. I have considered it more of a manifestation of humanity's problem rather than my personal problem. There are justifiable case-by-case situations wherein an educator might exhibit targeted sensitivity to a student's unique circumstances. This is humane and laudable. In most instances though, trigger warnings are not a manifestation of justified empathy but are symptomatic of an ailing culture. The theory of evolution is totally inadequate to explain the origin and manifestation of the inorganic world. What is Americanization? It manifests itself, in a superficial way, when the immigrant adopts the clothes, the manners, and the customs generally prevailing here. Far more important is the manifestation presented when he substitutes for his mother tongue the English language as the common medium of speech. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.